Hey guys, 1258 here. Today I've got a shorter video for you with one focus, which is the Mesillic slip spawn and how to utilize it properly. I was watching a tournament with Luke Plays yesterday and Game Boy Ali actually, and it was a lot of fun. You should go check out Luke's channel. He's running this amazingly long multi-week tournament with huge cash prizes, sponsored by Zen Sports. Awesome. Thank you, Zen Sports, for supporting Luke. He's an amazing man. He gets this game and is a vision for the future. So love all that, and I was lucky enough to participate in the latter half of the tournament. And something I saw happen twice that I want to talk about here today for, people. Those guys are excellent players. That tournament was full of excellent players. They might know better than me, but I want to at least start a conversation around how to utilize the slip spawn in the most strategic way possible, because I think Taunt and the slip spawn in particular has some unique benefits when it's placed at the back end as opposed to the front end. Let's talk about it today because I really think that there's maybe a better way. Okay, so let's get into that. And one more thing. And when we're done with this, we're going to open up all the daily rewards that I've got too, all my season rewards on my accounts. And I have a variety of accounts now. Okay, so we'll probably have 100 loot chests to look at together. But first, we're going to talk about slip spawn. Okay, so what I saw in the tournament was in two separate games out of probably, I only saw, I think, maybe 8 games. If you want to see my conversations around this, and I did talk about this, it's the last 45 minutes of Luke's 3-hour tournament video from yesterday, January 14th. But twice I saw people use the slip spawn in the first position, and on the one hand, I can see why you would do it because it has a huge hit pool, right? So it's going to stay alive longer, you think. But it has, here's my counter argument for that, why it shouldn't be in the first position. First of all, since it has taunt, everything's going to, that can attack it will attack it. Right, first of all. Second of all, at lower levels, level 1, level 2, it's not going to have any significant debuffs. The silence, or not the silence, the let's quickly look at it. The force field is what I mean to say, begins at level 4, which is the, pretty high for level silver. It's like silver, it's like a high level of silver slip spawn. You could run it that high in silver. Not exactly, it's still about a $12 card, I guess, at that price, which is pretty reasonable, actually. I'm going to say that's a cheap card. And this is absolutely an amazing card, too, by the way. That's why I want to put this focus on this video here today for you. So it's got no silence. It's got no void armor. It's got no void. It's got no shield. It's got no phase. It has no significant speed. It has no sort of abilities that increase its longevity, its sustainability until you reach out to level 4. When it has a force field, it becomes much more resilient, but even still, most monsters hit for less than 5. Think about that. Most monsters, especially in bronze and silver, where when you're rocking a level 4 force Mesillic slip spawn, most of the enemies you're going to be going up against are going to be, doing 3 damage, 2 damage, 4 damage if they're lucky. Which is to say that the force field is largely irrelevant, probably until you start getting into, gold or diamond. That's generally true, not always true, but generally true. And what it means is that even the force field itself is not particularly providing a significant amount of resilience. Why does that all matter? Well, when we go back to the shape and design of your team, I want to point out that since we know it attacks everything that can attack it will attack it, and since we know that it has no real sustainability even when it gets the force field, because most attackers are doing a 2, 3, or 4 damage, it just gets melted in the first position. So why would it be safer back here? Because we already said everything that can attack it will attack it. Well, look at the formation of my enemy team. I'm on the bottom here. This is my new account, 1258, and I put 40,000 power in here, and I'm going to delegate this one out to one of my scholars, by the way. I'll contact them directly, and people who have expressed interest in becoming one of my scholars, that's for my members only. People who support the channel, who want to have that. Also TNA members, if they're in the guild or if they're as an intern already and they want that opportunity, I'll put you on the list also, and I'll try and build as many as I can. But that's a separate conversation. So look at the fight in front of us here. Who's going to attack my slip spawn? The archers are definitely going to attack my slip spawn. The opportunity monster is going to attack my slip spawn. So we have 4 monsters that are going to attack my slip spawn. But look at this. He can't attack. He can't attack my slip spawn. So I've created a wedge with my taunt. Do you see? Before, what would have happened? Pretend the slip spawn's not in this battle. All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his monsters are going to slam into my first attacker, or into my first position monster. That's what his whole game plan was, with the exception of one opportunity monster that was going to kind of look for weakness. The Serpentine Spy his mission is being interrupted by the slip spawn in that the taunt is going to distract him from and protect the Chimera Princess. So that's great point number 1. That's why you want to use a taunt, because you want to preserve your squishies and distract their best DPS from isolating your glass cannons. If you don't know that phrase, it means the monsters or the people on your team that do a lot of damage but have very little hit points. Chimera Princess is going to do two magic damage for a cost of 2 mana. Sorry, 2 magic damage for a cost of 2 mana. That's a great monster. So I want to keep him alive. Slip spawn is going to keep him alive, and because I've created this wedge where half of his team is going over here, which I don't care about the Veiled Summoner at all, and I don't even really care about the Elven Mystic at all. I really don't care about any of them except for just the group of them. And so the slip spawn has created this distraction where the archer units are going to go over here hitting a big pool, while the melees are going to go over here. And I don't know if I'm going to win this. Let's find out together. But this is how in my opinion, you best use taunt. Let's find out what happens. That's a good start. Now the blast damage is killing my Chimera Princess. That's a real problem. But by now it's a little too late. There you go. If I did that another way, I wish I could have that queued up simultaneously where the taunt is in the first position. I feel confident I would have got melted before I even fired. Let's watch it one more time. I'm going to just break down the math, the speed on it. So look, the slip spawn is particularly slow, going 2 speed. We have his monsters have 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we would have, what were the rule sets? Yeah, there was no modifiers. So if I had, my slip spawn had been in the first position, he definitely would have died after the first round. Watch this. So I only have 4 hit points left after they have hit me. It's going to be 3 hit points after he hits me, and then he would kill me. So I definitely die in the first round, if not for where I put him. But because I created a wedge preventing his melee monster in the first position from striking me, I give myself a second turn. And depending on speed, this is so important, guys. Depending on the speed of your team versus his team, it's entirely conceivable. Like right there, his living lava got the fire. He hit my failed summoner. That would have been a kill against my Mephilic slip spawn. And it's important to understand that depending on the speed of your opponent's tank versus the speed of your slip spawn, especially because it's 2 speed, it's very conceivable that you get killed before you ever fire. And the loss of that 3 magic attack on turn 1 would be so game changing. So again, I've created a wedge. I've distracted his, the mission of his opportunity monsters. I've protected my squishies, which are in this case like a pretty substantial glass cannon, considering the mana cost that of this Chimera Princess. And Lastly, I've given my Metallic Slipspawn space and opportunity by he's taken on a lot of attackers. 4 different attackers are coming at him, but not 6, not 5 or 6. If he had a reach monster here, it could have been literally 6 if we're here, right? If we put him in the first position. But if we put him back here, and assuming the rule set doesn't allow melee to strike anywhere, if it had an opportunity rule set or a a sneak attack rule set, then this whole play turns out differently because everyone does focus on the Metallic Slipspawn. But in a normal rule set, as this was standard, no modifications, this play is generally speaking preferential. I wonder what you guys think about that. And I want to say the tournament I watched with Luke, those guys are amazing players. Some of the best, literally some of the best players in the game participated in that tournament. I don't want to name names, but I don't want to play favorites, but I recognize those names, and they are the upper echelon of bronze and silver. And so, maybe I'm wrong. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. But I do think this is a very versatile unit, and I think that when I use taunt, I almost always try to put it in the back end because of this separate. You're creating a wedge, and I think it's a very effective approach. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But now I just want to open all my loot chests with you guys, and we'll call the video. And this is, yeah, like I said, this one's gonna go to one of my scholars. I'll reach out to them later today. Okay. So let's get into the loot chest. So I only have 50 from my Infidel 1258 account. Wow, man. Time, YouTube, kids, work. Get it. See some goldies. See some gold. Oceani. Come on, big money, no whammies. I saw somebody in the comment the other day saying no whammies in my Twitter. That's awesome. Well, as we always say, this game rewards you for your time and attention. These cards might be trivial in value, but they are not going to be always. 5 cents for this card like today, not in 2 years. I'm certain of it. And so I'll stack cards all day long at these prices. And I'm confident one day I'm going to look back and see, wow, it's selling for that much? That's how I feel about it. Okay, so that's Infidel. Log out, log in. Ooh, nice. Lava launcher. I mean, again, lava launcher is like $1 or something stupid like that. Ooh, gold pallet core. And the cheap gold reward cards are like $1.50 or something. These prices are ludicrous, guys. They're ludicrous. And in the very near future, when Chaos Legion sells out, and maybe that's 6 months away, maybe it's 6 weeks, maybe it's 2.5 days from now. I don't know, but neither do you. And when it sells out, because it will sell out, these cards will not, especially golds, they're not going to be selling for $1 a piece. That's okay. So another good one. Log out, log in. What we doing now? EE. Oh, yes. Nice. Oceanus. I love the shake. Isn't it so satisfying when that comes on? And right now my speakers aren't working on my end. I know it's recording the audio for you guys. The music in the background and the shake, but I can't hear it. But when I do hear that, when I'm opening packs or cards, and you get excited, right? Oh, legendary, is it gonna be gold? Okay, and is that it? I think there might be logo. Yes, there is. It is finished. Jesus on the cross, boys. What he said. Look, another 40 over here. So 40 plus 50 is 90, plus 15 is 105. I think another 15, 120-ish reward chests. and I'm going to send out the DEC to my, how I do it with my scholars is I send out all the DEC that they've earned for that season with that account. So they keep the DEC, I keep the cards. Nice, another lava launcher. Oh, Wavesmith, love it. Assassin, one of my favorites. Another wave. This is a good drop. Oh, wow. This is a really good one. I love that card. I love it. At highest levels, at lowest levels, I think it's a strong card. I know it has lower hit points, but again, it's neutral and it's got, you know, flight and, you know, 2-speed is actually pretty decent at the lowest levels. You know, again, neutral, right? So it can just slip into different spots when you're in trouble, when you have a lack of cards. Maybe on your, you get stuck with that splinter that you don't really love, but you've got Gargoyle in your back pocket, so you can just drop them and give yourself a little opportunity, even if it's not like a perfect, you know, win potential. It's going to be a better opportunity because you have that neutral, you have those neutral options. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Thanks for your time and attention. I hope you have an amazing day. God bless.